Becoming a household name is hard work. Telling people that your goal is to become a household name is kind of embarrassing. Um, and that's kind of the spot where I'm at right now. I want to continue to create something meaningful alongside of the actual process of just writing great books and sharing books with the world. Um, but like the weight of feeling of telling somebody the goal that you're going for is challenging. So I was having this thought all day, and I wanted to share some of it with you. One, if you know somebody who has crazy ambitious dreams, uh, don't be a dream crusher. That's a major bit. Even if it is painfully obvious to you that that person is not doing the kind of work that is required to be a household name, you know what? It's not your business to tell them to stop because something might flip at any moment and you don't want to be the dick who told them to stop and crushed a dream. I promise you, it's far harder to just do it every single day than most people can withstand. So just standing up for a minute and doing something is plenty enough. You don't need to be the person to talk sense into them. Most likely this world will talk sense into them. So that's one of the things I'd love to tell you. Don't be the person to tell uh, a dreamer to give up on their gold. Life itself will tell us to give up. It's hard enough. We don't need dream crushers. The other thing is, and this is the meat of the subject right now. I had this idea for a piece of organic social media content that I thought would really do well. And it was simple. I was listening to a podcast by Gary Vaynerchuk, and he mentioned something about bananas. I don't remember exactly what it was. Sending bananas to his, you know, customers or something along those lines. But it got me the idea of, what I should do is I should write on some bananas a sentence, sort of like, if you love reading this mystery series is, and then hold a bunch of bananas, implying bananas. It's bananas. And that really tickled me. So I was driving back with my son Silas, and I told him the idea, and he was laughing, and he was like, "That was great." And I told my wife the idea, and she's like, "I think I would probably stop scrolling if I saw somebody just holding a banana with a word on it." So I created this reel using still images of myself to kind of test the idea first. And each banana has a word on it. It gets to the end, and then there's the call to action, link in the bio type thing. Um, Very first, when I posted it on TikTok, it looked like it was ready to go. And I was pretty excited. It got 70 views in just a few seconds. It got a like right away. I could tell that somebody had watched it all the way to the end, which was the desired outcome. And then after those initial 70 views in just a few seconds, it did not get any more traction and died. Posted it over on Instagram, slightly adjusted it, same outcome. It really didn't take off. And I think I also have it up on my Facebook where it hasn't gotten any likes. So, not the idea I thought it was. Why am I telling you about a failure? Well, partly because if you're trying to become a household name, it's nice to know what other people are trying and how well it's working. But more importantly, I'm telling you because this is an idea I'm going to play with. And I think that it probably has potential, and something in the way that I set it up was not necessarily correct. I think that I had that Paulo Coelho alchemist moment. If you're not familiar with Paulo Coelho, he wrote The Alchemist. And the main character of that book has initial success. It's a taste to show that character you're on the right road. Oftentimes, when you get that early taste, it's the thing that hooks you. It's why you probably became a dreamer in the first place. If you're somebody who wants to be a household name, you probably had early success. Someone said, "Hey, you're really good at such and such." And that's what happened to me. It's why I write, is that I had a few people early on who expressed admiration for the work that I was doing. So thank you to those people, or not thank you, because the last 20 years, and I'm still not even touching my goals, my dreams. But anyway, that early success tells me I think there's something in the idea. My first goal was to have other people holding the bananas. So I'd take the picture, knock on their door, and be like, "Hey, can I take a picture of you holding this banana?" Um, and I was in town in Omaha today. I had an opportunity. I bought a bunch of bananas. I could have walked around Costco or outside the parking lot of Costco and asked people to do that. I'm terrified of interacting with strangers. The police aren't going to arrest me. Nothing's going to happen to me. People will probably think like, what is this weirdo middle-aged adult doing asking to take a picture of me with a banana? And they'll quickly say no. But it's not bad for me to do that kind of thing. I just got scared, frankly. I got scared and I justified that I needed to get home to the kids. And so I did not do that. And maybe that was the reason it didn't succeed. Maybe people are more likely to stop when they see a picture of multiple people holding bananas. Maybe that adds to the element of um, suspense. Like, why are random people holding bananas with a single word on them? So, guess what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try that next and I'm going to see if I can get the idea to take because I really do believe that this is an idea that will work. And I just need to iterate it, experiment with it, see what people like, what people don't like. Maybe the color of the marker wasn't contrasted enough with the banana. It was kind of a dull Sharpie, and so it didn't have that kind of crisp line to it. So perhaps if I spent a little bit more time marking up the banana, that would work. I could also bring in different effects to maybe port those images into Canva and use like a font style on the banana. Maybe that would work. There's all kinds of different things that I might be able to do. In fact, as I'm thinking, I could just see if there's any stock photos of people holding bananas, and I could do that. So there you go. I'm thinking right in the moment. That's probably my next experiment is to see if I can find stock images of people holding bananas. And then I can use Canva to superimpose words onto those bananas and see if I can get the idea to kind of take off in that way. Because, and this is something I've heard from a lot of the people in business that I really enjoy listening to. When you have a great idea, the algorithm is only responding to the great idea. You think that the algorithm suppresses great ideas when the truth is you have not expressed your great ideas in a way that is appealing to people. What happened over on TikTok was that I got lucky. One person watched all the way to the end, and TikTok said, wow, I did this many impressions. One of them looked, and it just started pushing that. It doesn't matter if I use their favorite trending song, their favorite trending audio, anything like that. If you truly have something creative and you put it out there into the world, you are going to reap the rewards. So that is what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to play with this idea because I believe the idea itself is good, and I will push that idea forward until I get something that works a little better. Or maybe after 20 or 30 tries, I realize the idea was just dumb. Let's move on. Thanks. A couple of you gave me some cool feedback about the stitches that I was doing on Instagram, where I take typically sort of an athletic thing. And then at the end of it, I stitch on a picture of, like, for example, a javelin. I turn it into a nail and it lands on my book, and, whatever clever tagline. A few of you people like that responded well. I had some good hits on those. So I'm going to continue to experiment with those as well. And I'd love to hear from you. What ideas do you have that you are using on social media? What ideas do you want the community to experiment with? Because if I'm doing this right, to become a household name, we probably need each other to get there. So if you are gravitating towards this podcast and you're interested in joining the experiment, I would love to hear from you. What social media ideas are you having right now that you're afraid to do, that you haven't had time to do, that you don't know how to execute on? Maybe we can work together to put something out there and see how well it will work. That's all I've got for you today, and we'll talk again soon.